I'm a very big fan of film, as you probably know if you watch this channel, but I'm also a big fan of video games, and I have found myself crawling back to and playing once again Red Dead Redemption 2. I love that game. The online's pretty damn awful, but the single player, still to this day, is totally up there on my list of great games, and I still have fun with it even, almost 2 years later. However, as I was playing the other day, I started thinking, I wish there was westerns like this. Not just these old, spaghetti westerns that you used to see and things like that, which are just sort of, I don't know, a bit janky for today, and it doesn't make much sort of sense, and I wanted a more sort of gritty, realistic story, and you got films like True Grit and 310 to Yuma, which recreated old westerns from the 60s and stuff. However, I still wasn't feeling it. I thought there's got to be a film out there that really captures these, because most modern filmmakers, when they go for a western, they do things like neo-westerns, which is another genre I love, like Hell or High Water and Wind River and things like that, and No Country for Old Men, which are all great. But I just wanted, not the neo-western, I just wanted a western that was gritty and enjoyable. And I found one. I found one that I feel connects most to my ideal western film when thinking of sort of the Red Dead style of westerns. And that is the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. Now, it's a bit of a mouthful, but you've pressed on this video because you probably have heard of it, or you know the film. And it's a bit of an underrated masterpiece, to be totally honest. I watched it once, and I watched it again with my dad, and he hated it. He said the film was a load of swear word. I can't swear in this because I don't want it to not get up. But I understand where he's coming from. But I also totally disagree with him. Watch this film on your own. Don't let other people influence you, okay? Watch this film on your own. Brad Pitt himself said it was his favourite role, his favourite film that he's been involved in. And I don't blame him. From the beginning to the end, this film was pretty artistically amazing. And probably the first sort of half hour, the shots are so beautiful, and the landscapes. I think they filmed most of it in like Alberta and Saskatchewan in Canada, which was representing like the Midwest in America. And damn, that place is beautiful, and the shots are just amazing, absolutely amazing. There's a scene where Jesse James and his gang rob the train at the beginning, and you look at him and all the lights go out and it all goes black, and then you see the train just appear out of the darkness. It was truly amazing, and it's one of those shots where you think, wow, it's so simple but so smart. Like, that is such a good shot, and those are scattered throughout. And even the acting as well, and people like Casey Affleck, who plays Robert Ford. I'm not a big Casey Affleck fan. I hate Ben Affleck. I don't hate Casey Affleck, but I'm not a big fan. But I really liked him in this. I really did. And even outshone people like Sam Rockwell and Jeremy Renner, who are alongside him. Even though he probably didn't outshine Brad Pitt, because Brad Pitt was seriously good. Probably one of the better roles I've seen him do by far. But it goes to show, a big actor like Brad Pitt, you don't necessarily know all his films. And I recommend this film. It came out in 2007, I think. Which are other long-name films like the previously mentioned No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood, which are both sort of westerns, which totally outshone this film. So this was pushed to the back burner. But it is truly an amazing film, and it's a true story, and I think that's why I also enjoyed. I'm not a big fan of the end. I felt like there's a couple bits that were a bit janky, and like there's a freeze frame right at the end, which I didn't mind, but there was a freeze frame about 10 minutes before the end, which just felt totally out of place and really sucked me out of the film. And I know it's a very specific thing, but I really didn't like it. And it's a bit of an awkward freeze frame as well. And the narrator throughout, I'm not necessarily against the narrator, but I felt like his voice, he had a Western voice, but there was something about it that just felt a bit weak and almost annoying. I feel like they probably should have thought about a different voice actor. Yeah, it just didn't really suit. But pushing those aside, it is a poetic film, and really beautiful, and really just realistic. It doesn't show the West in a light of, wow, everyone was shooting each other, and, high noon, and robbing banks, and blah de blah. It was just sort of gritty and real, and the few shooting scenes that are in it throughout are pretty rough and horrible, and very much like The Revenant, that sort of vibe. Just really, it's painful to watch because you just feel like the grit of it. So, in that respect, they did a really, really, really good job. Yeah, the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, and it's a bit of a stunt to pull off to call a film that sort of thing, because let's be honest, like, you're not gonna remember that if you're a casual watcher, and if you see that on a streaming service, you're not gonna be like, oh wow, what a cool looking film. You're probably not even gonna read the whole title. So I think that's why a lot of people overlook it. But I recommend it, even though it's not a watch that is super exhilarating, and it is rather slow from a filmmaking perspective. And I think especially if you're interested in making a Western, this is a very important film to watch. I'd say if you are making a Western, watch this above all other films, because it will give you a different perspective, and I think a smarter perspective on making these sorts of films. Really underrated film, and just a great film. Yeah, and definitely a film that I feel like, even though, you watch most films that you might enjoy but think they are boring at some parts and think, it's going to be a while till I watch that again. I would happily watch this film, multiple times in a short period of time, because it's that sort of film. It's that sort of film where you know what's going to happen, but you're looking forward to it. And even the title itself is a spoiler. It's based off a real story, but no, it's just very clever, and very it jumps, forward in time quite a bit, but it's quite effective in how it sort of tells sort of you're one thing and then you're gone in quite a horrible way. And The Irishman, which I watched recently as well, which I have done or should do a video on, I felt sort of the same vibe. It had that sort of same ending of, did it really matter at the end of the day? And I think that's an important message to leave with people, and I like films that have those sorts of messages, because it just makes you think. It just makes you stop and think, that film was something. It's not showing it off as, you should have been a cowboy, you should have been a hero. It's showing it off as, the man was a coward by people's account. Was he actually? I don't know. He was just a guy who did something, and Jesse James happened to be famous. But was it all worth it? I don't know. They all ended up dead, didn't they? So that's not a spoiler. When I say they all ended up dead, I mean now they're all dead. Some of them got shot, but not all of them. So don't think that everyone's, as soon as the film starts, all of the people are dead. That's not true. A lot of them survive. But yeah, check it out. And if you have already seen it and you saw it a while ago, I definitely recommend that you check it out again, because I feel like it's one of those films that you ought to check back and think, at the time I might not have appreciated what this film was, and especially if you were quite young at the time like I was, you don't realise that that these films, artistically especially, are very advanced and very unique, and in themselves tell a story. The cinematography in this film is the standout. And I know I bang on about cinematography quite a lot, but it's important. It's totally important. It's what sort of gives the film its look, doesn't it? And if you're going to be a film that is nominated for awards and those sorts of things, and have a standout memory, then, you need those sorts of things. As well as great writing, great quotes, which this film all has, and just great scenes. All works together, and the music I didn't mention either. The music as well. Perfect. Just the little jingle that sort of runs throughout. It just has this energy to it that is perfect. And I think this film, if you want a good down-to-earth, gritty western, Watch The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. Thank you, check out the film.